Whoa, okay. How are you guys doing today? Good. So, as you know, we're going to jump right into it. Questions again. All right. Hey, Mark, how's it going? I've been practicing spiritual mindfulness for over 10 years, but it's not working for me. I'm doing self improvement. What am I missing here? Can you also give some stories? I know in a lot of your videos you talk about stories, but can you make this video about testimonials that you personally were involved with in your coaching or helping individuals by your teachings? Can you talk about that, expand on it so that I can pick up something that I may use to help myself with the individuals that you've helped? Okay, all right, that's good. So yeah, so let's do this. This will be a testimonial video. I'll talk about, my goodness, so many, but I thought I when I got this question, I thought about it. So I'm gonna pick about four that really stood out, and they just stood out because of the way they manifested for me. And these are like clients or people I had coached. So, and maybe you guys can pick something up from this, and maybe they're watching this as well. But we all can do it. All right. So, all right. Let's see which the first one. Okay. Yeah, let's go with the first one. So I had uh, this lady that she reached out to me a few years back, and she owned a talent agency, and she had models, and they were doing like commercials for like the J.C. Penney, stuff like that. And she was really in a tough situation because she wanted to create more revenue or business or get more talent for her organization. She wanted to get more advertisers, contractors, etc., etc. So we started to coach her, and I started to show her, about the concept of the mind and what's really holding her back. And then I taught her how to correctly visualize. So, what her goal was, there was an event that would come to her town, and this is, I think it's in Phoenix, Arizona. And at this event, they had all these like talent agencies, young models, and they had all these different advertisers or promoters, like that would sign them up. And she had a booth there, but for the last 2 years she wasn't making the revenue. She was making maybe she said about 90,000, but she wanted to bring that more. So what I basically told her, I said, look, everything that you see around you is coming from inside of you. She had no idea that was. She said, what? She said, yeah. I said, if you want something, you have to see it in your mind first, and then it will reflect to the reality. And she said, it can't be that simple. And I said, yeah, it's really that simple. So I just told her, basically, you can visualize this, and then what you do is you let it go, and then a few affirmations. And so for about 2 months, she was doing it. Got to a point that she got down, and she's like, Mark, I don't even know if this stuff is working. I said, it's working. I said, what happens is it takes what we call time for the old momentum to change and the new momentum. So I told her what to visualize. She said, okay, I'm going to do it. So she did it for a couple months, and then she went to the event. And what happened at the event, she wanted to get some sponsor. I think it was from like Ross or Gap or one of those big companies that she had before. And when she went there, they were there. And as she was there, a representative, um, they came over to her booth, started talking to her, and she said, when that happened, she just felt goosebumps because it felt so unreal. And I said to her, well, it's unreal because you weren't taught that you're the self-creator of your world. You were taught that everything was outside of you. So your mind, when your mind sees things like that, it says, whoa, this is crazy. So to make a long story short, she got a deal. And to sum it up, her first revenue for that month, I remember her making like 80, 90,000 per month. And she would always see this number 22, 22. And she would say, Mark, what is 22? What is 22? It keeps following me. I said, 22 means that your dreams or whatever you're doing is keep going. It's about to manifest. And so her first big check or whatever, you know how much it was? $222,000. She sent me a screenshot of it. 222. Boom. That's the magic of the universe. So what did she do? Well, she visualized. She kept affirming, and she kept repeating the process. And also, she got rid of what's called her subconscious blocks. We all have these blocks You do that through affirmations and subliminals. So that's one that really stood out. The other one that stood out was that a gentleman, and he was also somewhere in the mid. I think he was in Phoenix as well, either Phoenix or Ohio, one of those. Anyways, he came to me and he's like, "Listen, man, I've been doing this. I follow all these teachers, and I want to retire. I want about, I think I need about $70,000 more, and I want to leave the country, and move to some island or whatever." I said, "Okay." And the job he was doing, I think he was doing like a computer software job. But he says, the money's there, but I'm not happy, and I've been trying to manifest this. And I asked him a question. I said, "What have you been doing to manifest it?" He said, "Well, I've been doing affirmations, and I've been feeling good." And I said, "Well, yeah, but have you been visualizing?" He says, "Yeah." So how do you visualize? So he was visualizing totally incorrect. See, the way you visualize, you got to visualize in the end. So I taught him how to visualize in the end thinking, to see things in the end, not in the beginning. He was visualizing a beginning, a middle, and trying to figure out how it was going to go. So that's the key for you guys too. You create anything. See, the theme in all of this is people, they're not learning to use their imagination. Anyway, he visualized. I said, just visualize where you want to go and what you'll be doing and how it feels. And then we'll keep your ego out the picture by talking out loud to your ego. That's because that quiets the ego, and it releases the resistance. So he's like, "All right, man, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it." I said, "Don't try, just do it." So he started to do it. And I think this was pretty fast. It was about 3 weeks into the session here. He sent me a picture, and he says, "Check this out." It was a check for $75,000. Where did the check come from? Well, this is the amazing thing about it. So apparently, 20 years prior, he had like an investment account, and he put it in a bank, but the bank changed names, and I think somehow he forgot about it. But there were interest accruing through 20 years, and it came up to 75,000. So what happened was the bank was bought out. So when the bank bought out, they started pulling all their records to see if they have any, funds. And he was contacted through an email and says, "Hey, man, you had such and such, and you have $75,000 that over 20 years that grew." Bam! It was his money to manifest, and then he got it, and he went on with his thing. Again, what did he do? He started to believe in himself. He started to see his possible. The way he visualized came true. Okay, the other one that stood out to me, this one really stood out. This was in New Orleans, so it was a young lady that I was helping. And this was during the hurricane thing. I think was it Katrina or something? Anyways, that when that hurricane happened a few years ago, a lot of people lost their homes and everything was flooded. She lost her home, but her dream was to live in this condo downtown. There's a high condo up there. So she was homeless, and she would go to work every day. But what happened was the building, the condo she wanted to live in, she put that as her mailing, as her home address. So she had all her mails going to this place that she doesn't live or that she doesn't even own, and she's homeless. And what she would do, she had her co-workers, when they would drop her off from work, they would drop her off at the building, and so everyone thought that's where she lived. So when they would drop her off, she would just look around, and when they left, she would just walk her way back to the homeless shelter. Okay, and she did this for about a month or two. Then what happened was, again, the power. She would visualize. She would act as if she was doing. She basically brainwashed herself into believing that she lived at that place. And it's a powerful technique, because what happens is, this is called making the subconscious mind normal. This is what I talk about when I teach and say. I said, look, if you make the subconscious mind normal, or normalize the subconscious mind, your reality will manifest a lot faster. That's why I say you have to be a little delusional. She was a little delusional. Imagine this. She would be going there and just going to this place that she doesn't even know where she's going to live at. She wanted the top penthouse top, okay? This lady had no money, homeless, working and getting dropped every day. She had her mail going there, right? And anyway, after a couple months, guess what happened? She got the penthouse, people. She lives there. How did it happen? Well, let me tell you how it happens. See, that's what I'm telling you. That's why your job is never to try to figure out how or when. It's just to project it, let it go. Because we're dealing with an infinite mind here. So what she did was, there was this program, because I guess it was, the FEMA and all these different agencies that were helping people out. They came to her job, and voila, she was qualified for assistance, and the government gave her 200 or almost a $250,000, almost $300,000, and she bought the condo, and she was living up there for a long time. So that one really stood out. Let's see the other one here that stood out. All right, so she may be watching this. So she's in California. So the thing with this particular student here, she was very intuitive, but lacked the concept of how mind, matter, quantum physics, and how you create your world. So what I did, I just basically showed her. I said, look, like I'm showing, it's open for everyone. You can try this yourself. You can do it. I said, look, there's nothing outside of you. Everything is inside of you. What you want to do is you have to project it and make your subconscious normal. Normalize things. So she wanted to manifest a certain amount of money because I think she moved. She was in California. She moved to Phoenix. She didn't like it. She had to move back to California. She wanted to just manifest money so she could have abundance, so she wouldn't work. Make a long story short, within a short span, she manifested $24,000. I think in less than a month, she manifested $24,000. Then on top of that, she kept winning at casinos. This lady would win every time she went to the casino. She would win 1K, 2K, 1K, 2K every time. So she manifested all this money. So I was talking to her. I said, so what did you learn from doing this? She said, you know what? The thing I learned about this stuff is like, I want the money, but I have to act like I don't want the money. I don't need the money. And I said, oh, interesting. That's what I was saying. I said, when you want something, if you act like you need it or desire it, you're pushing it away. But if you don't act like you want it, it comes to you. I know it's perplexing, but that's how this stuff works. So what she did was she would go there to eat at the buffet. And when she would just go there to eat and not to play or anything. And then after she ate, she just felt the spirit to play. So she didn't go there to win the money. Every time she went there to eat. And every time she ate, they had these little machines where you could play blackjack or something. And she would always win $1,000. And it kept happening. So the lesson in this is, and this is again about how reality works, how the mind works, guys. It's like, when we want something, we're affirming we don't have that thing. But when we act like we have that thing, we are affirming that we're already a part of that thing. And the reason why this is perplexing, because you're in your regular mind, you were taught that when you want that thing, you have to go after and need and get that thing and figure out how to get that thing. But that's just a small part of your mind. The biggest part of the mind is the subconscious, and the subconscious will go and create it. So out of all of these testimonial things, that it's all about impressing your subconscious. So if someone says that, man, I've been doing this for 10 years and there's no result, the problem maybe is that you are trying too hard, or you're needing or acting like you have to have it. In other words, what you want to do is flip the script, make it normal to your mind. You got to be a little delusional by seeing it, acting as if, whatever you want to call it, fake it till you make it, fake it, whatever. There's no such thing as fake it till you make it. It's just impressing the subconscious. And if you do that over a particular time, like these individuals have, they will see the results. And those things happen all the time. So the big picture in all of this is that once you want something, you have to decide that's what you want. You have to project it. You have to make it normal. And the question becomes, man, what is the normal thing? So what I do, I just say to you guys, okay, how do I make my big dream normal, man? Well, look, you do it like this. What is normal for you every day? When you get up, you drink your coffee, whatever. That's normal, right? You take the big thing and you shrink it down like that. So instead of looking at the big as a big thing, just look at it as a thing that you're going to get. Don't look at like this big goal that I have to achieve. You know, look at it like, just look at it like that's something that's going to already be mine. That's something that's coming up next. That's something that's on the way. That's just like me getting up, drinking my coffee. I don't think twice about it. I just drink it. You know, sometime before you go to bed, right? You think about, okay, so what coffee am I going to drink? What tea am I going to have tomorrow? And you do it. You get up tomorrow and you have it and you drink it. That's the same thing you do with your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. That's what you call normalizing thing. And out of all of these testimonies, the one thing they had in common was they learned how to make their mind normal. Once you make your mind normal, boom, it pops into your reality. And that's the secret to all of this, normalizing your routine. And so if you're watching this and there's something you might want to learn or take from this, is the thing is this, guys, never get caught up or hype up or tight up on what you want. Let it go, act like it's coming, and then your mind will do the trick. The only thing about this stuff, you just have to be consistent, persistent, and you got to be a little delusional. Because if you're not, you're going to get into the conscious mind, which is very complex, linear, judgment, and it's going to create a little resistance, which delay you. But if you learn anything from this, you learn that visualize it, make it normal, let it go, expect it, and it's really that simple. All right, so I'll see you guys next time for some more questions.